can not have all of that funny business in there. Welcome to the Wednesday Hustle Huddle. I've been working so hard since we got back from convention, you guys. I'm literally like from 6 a.m. until I crash at 10. So I've been working on a lot of things behind the scenes and wanted to let you guys in on some of that is, and make some announcements. But I first want to talk about one thing I got to hear. I'll deal with that afterwards. My phone has been blowing up today. One thing that I heard a lot about at convention, and when people are struggling in their business and are having a hard time because maybe their upline has left or maybe their upline isn't as active. Kristen and Tiffany Scott, get it together or turn off your camera, because everyone's paying attention to your laughing and not my talking. You good? Just want to make sure you're okay over there. Okay, so restart. When I put that on the graphic about stop doing this, stop trying to do this alone and then fire your upline, I do mean both things. And I want to explain what I mean by that, because sometimes we rely on our upline so much, or think that it's our upline's responsibility, or if we don't have a great sponsor or whatever our upline is doing affects our business. And I just really, really want to put that to bed and tell you guys to stop worrying about what your upline is doing. Stop worrying about whether they're there to help you or not. We have every single tool in this team that you could ever want and more, probably too many, right? Sometimes it's too much. So you don't need a sponsor. You don't need an upline. And the faster you make that decision to fire your upline, the faster I will bet you'll get to the top of this company. Like hands down, 100%. I can tell you that while I love my sponsor, I am so grateful for the upline that I have, because they're a whole lot of do your thing type people. And I needed that, because if I didn't have that, we probably would have butt heads, because I'm so type A and run faster than most people will run. And I'm a little overwhelming at times. And I know that. So I knew that I just needed someone who could give me some details, tell me what I needed, and then let me go. And that's your fastest way to the top. I will guarantee you it's the fastest way to the top is to fire your upline, forget that they're even there, and go run like your hair's on fire. Check in with them when you need something, check in with them when you need like, hey, how does this work? Or how does that work? But you also have a team chat. Check in with them if you think maybe they're running some promos for the team, but don't count on that. It's not their job to run promos for your team or for you. It's your job to do your business. And the faster you can allow your downline, in the same respect, the faster you can allow your downline to run and lead their own team, the faster you will also get to 200K, because you standing in their way or making it so that they can't breathe or suffocating, that is only going to smolder your own business and turn them away from the business. So it kind of goes both ways. First, you want to fire your upline. And second, you want to, as a sponsor, be there for your downline when they need you, but don't get in their way. The worst thing that could have ever happened to me when I started this business is an upline getting in my way. It's just how I operate. I knew I wanted the roadmap, but then give me the roadmap so I can drive around it like I want to, right? So I wanted to say that just as a take note kind of thing. If you're in this business and you're relying on your upline, you're in the wrong business, because while this is a team type business and this is a community of thrivers, and it is also your own business, and your success or failure has nothing to do with who sponsored you. And it has everything to do with what's in here and what you are capable of doing. Now, on the flip side of that, stop trying to do this business all by yourself, right? I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth right now. When I'm saying that is, if you are struggling with the same things over and over and over and over, and I'm not talking about your lack of consistency, that poop is on you. Okay. That poop is on you. The lack of consistency is completely on you. The mindset shift needed is completely on you. There is nothing I can say or do. Well, I won't say that completely. There are some things that your upline can provide you motivation wise, but you can't just keep coming picking at that same scab. Like, get it together. Okay. We can only do so much for you. You have to go internally for that. But if you're finding yourself having the same issue over and over and over, you're not able to close deals, and you're not getting people on Thrive, and you're not getting new promoters, it is time to start taking your people that you're communicating with and involving a third party. So what I mean by stop doing it on your own, do it on your own if it's working. If you have more prospects than you know what to do with, and you're closing tons of customers, you're always on the top of the PPA report, you're flying up to the next rank, you're rocking and rolling, then you know what you're doing, you know what to say, you know how to close deals. Keep doing that. Keep doing what's working. But if what you're doing isn't working and you're not closing those people, stop trying to do it on your own. I have so many people that are like, I can't. Mike, thank you for raising your hand and saying guilty, Mike. There's so many people that I don't know if it's because you don't want to reach out and bug your upline. So we have two types of people here: people who never reach out to their upline and bug them when they need to, and then people who are or people who are like scared to reach out to their upline and bug them, or the people that blame their upline for all of their success or failure in the business. So I don't want you to keep doing this business on your own if you're struggling with getting samples into people's hands, if you're struggling to close those samples into sales, if you're struggling to get people to enter the trial bot, if you're struggling to get a new promoter on board. It really is not that hard. We are making this business way more difficult than it needs to be, and it really is not that hard. But if you do have those prospects, now there's a whole separate problem here. If you don't have prospects, you need to start digging through some of the team training, because we've given you all of the tools to grow that network and the things to do every single day to grow that network and to get into people's inboxes. That part you have to do. There's no one that can get you out of bed in the morning and make you grab your phone and start reaching out and doing the IPA checklist. That you have to do. But if you're doing all those things and you are running up against a brick wall and not able to close those people, you need to involve somebody. Okay. So I think I beat all of that to an oblivion. Hopefully everybody understands where I was going with that. I really want you guys to start taking ownership of your own business. You can obviously rely on your upline in the beginning when you're still unsure and the confidence isn't there 100%, and you need a third party validation and you need someone to help teach you the ropes. I'm not saying fire your upline for those reasons. I am, however, saying fire them as fast as you can, because the faster you do it, the faster you'll get to 200K. It just is what it is. When any person you saw on that stage holding a 200K sign at that convention this past weekend, I will bet you that most of them fired their upline in a sense. They may still be friends with them. They may still work with them side by side. They still get on Zooms with them. They might use them for third-party validation, but they are not using them to ensure the success of their business. They have taken ownership of their business. They ran and they do. Okay, Aaron says, do the do to get the get, but we changed that saying. And if you want to have what I have, you have to do what I do. They did that. They all did that. So now is your turn. You have to do that. I don't know any 200K in this business that's still with us that didn't just get lucky overnight for some reason. But the 200Ks you still see running and gunning and churning in the same faces, those people fired their upline so long ago and they run their business. They took ownership of their business and they work it day in and day out. It is not easy, but it is worth it. So the faster you do that, the quicker you get there. Another quick side note I do want to make mention of, because I was talking to Mike about this yesterday. I do still think that we spend, I love all the social media bells and whistles. Again, this is talking out of both sides of my mouth. Unless you are building your network every single day by adding the friends to Facebook, adding the connections on Instagram, doing the follow-up message that says, hey, this is who I am, and I'm not just some creeper who added you, doing your birthday reach outs. If you are not doing those basics every single day, don't bother learning how to do reels. Because once you do the reel and you have someone to talk to, you're still going to have to go back and do the talking to. So this part needs to get done first. If you don't have that consistency down first, stop worrying about all the other bells and whistles. We need to make sure we're having communication. We need to make sure we're in people's inboxes. We need to make sure that I would say, go live before you even start learning how to do reels. But I know reels are a little more maybe comfortable because you don't have to be live and on camera. But I don't know who it was who asked me yesterday or today. These 2 days are blurring together. I don't believe that out of all the reels I've done, I might be growing my network right now. And that's really all I'm worried about. I'm not worried about getting the return on investment from those reels right now. Most of my new stuff is coming from lives. Almost all of my new conversations, new promoters, new everything is coming from me doing lives. So I know that those pay faster than learning how to do the reels and getting that stuff out there. So I want to make sure that you guys, when you're spending your time on income producing activities, that we're not getting too caught up in all the social media bells and whistles, and we are getting caught up in Messenger. Money is made in Messenger. It is a saying. It will be the saying until network marketing is no longer network marketing. Money is made in Messenger. Money can be made by doing reels and doing lives, but you still have to have the communication, which means the money is still made in Messenger, not on the reels. Those are an assist to income producing activities, but those are not necessarily income producing activities, because the income is made once you start talking to people and have them captive audience in your inbox. Okay. So just make sure that when you're spending, if you have 5 hours a week or 5 hours a day or 10 hours a week, when you divide up that time, 99% of it should be spent on making connections and talking to people, not on reels or anything else. Okay. Learn all of that stuff when you already have prospects in your funnel and you're looking to grow the network even more. They're absolutely important things to do and to get your face out there more, but we just need to grow the network and have communication. Okay. Most of what I have for the rest of this, and maybe I can actually end early tonight and Mary can take over for book club. I just have a lot of announcements. First of all, if you're in the Detroit, Flint, Michigan area, tomorrow night, we have a local at Aubrey's Pizzeria in Grand Blanc. If you are local to that and you are looking to build a business with us, and when I say local, I'm talking within an hour drive. If you're further than that, I understand that's a little much. But if you're within an hour drive and you're trying to really build this business, number one, proof is in the pudding. Being in the room with other thrivers, even if you don't have a new guest, is super important. I used to say this all the time and I kind of got away from it. A little off color, but it makes sense. But when isn't Jessica Green off color? So it's kind of like AA meetings, right? When you go to an AA meeting, you're surrounding yourself with people who are on the same path and same mission as you, because you need to be reassured and you need to have accountability and you need to have somebody that's watching your back and you need to have like-mindedness around those people. Our Lavelle locals are just like that. Just because you don't have a new guest does not mean you do not come. You come because you need to be around other thrivers. You need to hear the stories. You need to be reinvigorated. That's why people just went to Thrive-A-Palooza. I highly urge you to grab a friend, grab your sister, grab your cousin, or come by yourself, but get yourself in a room with other thrivers. Have some conversations with us. See the whole thing presented again in person, feel the energy in the room. And if you are not local or cannot come tomorrow night, please start creating your own. This team was built on locals. We went from 0 to $1 million team because we had locals twice a week, at least. It was ridiculous. And we did that for years, solid years. That's how we built. That's how we built fast. That's how we built strong. That's how we built furious. And since we have not been doing locals, that's been part of the fallout of this team. That togetherness is super important for the community of this team specifically. It's just how we were built. So why would it be any different now? So I highly urge, if you're not local to Grand Blanc or you cannot come tomorrow night, get a local on the books. I don't care if it's you and your best friend staring at each other at a bar. Get a local on the books. Commit to going. Share the Thrive experience with somebody else that's there. Invite your friends. Who cares if nobody shows up? Hang out and have a drink or have a bite to eat with your friend and talk about your business together. At least you're around another Thriver. You know, we go all week and we hear no, and we hear no, and we hear no, and we hear no, and we have somebody slam us on social media, or we have a promoter quit on us, or our family member just harass us for being in a pyramid scheme, right? We got all of that comes at us all week long. And then you get in a room with a bunch of Thrivers on a Thursday night and you're like, I feel like I'm home again. And it's the same thing for AA. That's why I relate it to that, because it is the same theory. You know, you've got all these things coming at you all week long, all of the things that stress you out and will make you fall off the track. You go back into that room so you can go, oh, everybody else here is on the same journey as me. They get where I'm at. And we need that. So I really strongly urge you to come tomorrow night. And if you can't, put one on the books, get one on the books in the next couple of weeks. Okay. Speaking of in-person events, we just nailed down some dates today. We've got Carrie Ann coming up here May 3rd and 4th. May 3rd in the evening, I believe, because we didn't secure the actual location that I thought we were going to secure. We still have to work on that. We believe it'll be Thursday or Tuesday night, the 3rd, if not Wednesday night. If for some reason we absolutely cannot find a location, but it will be, I'm going to just tell you right now, it will be where the majority of the promoters are located at this time, which is around the Clarkston, Ortonville, Grand Blanc areas where most people are active. Sorry, Miss Scott. Those are all the locations that we have a lot of access to too, that we can go through the Rolodex. So she's going to come up. We're going to do some one-on-one meetings with a couple of specific promoters. And then we are going to do a 3-hour 101 type training. It is going to be from 6 to 9 at night because people work during the day. So it's going to be a late night. But the last time I checked in with most of you, y'all running for 200K. So we might have to make the drive. We might have to stay up late. We might have to go the extra mile, but that's what we're going to do because that's what we got to do. Okay. Haas, what are you laughing at? I feel like you're looking at something else.
I know nothing.
I know nothing. Kristen Scott's behind the camera. I'm scared. What is what called?
This event that you're calling it for 3 hours.
Oh, we haven't even named it yet. This is literally a matter of like meshing schedules, getting all of that figured out in the last couple of days, and it just coming off of that trip. So it'll be like it's not going to be a local. We're not expecting new guests there. We said we wanted people to get in the room, and some promoters won't come to locals if they don't have a new guest. So we don't want it to be about that. We want it to be more of like a gathering, a training, some 101 type training. I'm sure we can do some social media stuff, but we have not mapped out the entire thing yet. It's really to get her up here and around more of our team that couldn't come to Thrive-A-Palooza. Yes, Kristen, I got your message. Then the next 2 Wednesdays I have, so that's going to be the 3rd Wednesday. So we've got next Wednesday, then we have the 27th, and then that. So it's like 3 weeks from now. So the next 2 Wednesdays, I'm going to be interviewing on our team Huddle, 2 200Ks that are very fast moving, strong 200Ks in the business, not on our team. Next week will be Dana Chuva, and the following week, I'm still waiting for my last confirmation, should be Courtney Glaser. I want to bring these guys to the team so that you guys can learn what they are doing, because you hear from me all of the time. And I want to hear from a 200K that's doing better than me right now. I want to bring you guys somebody that's doing better than me. So you can see what other teams are doing right now to absolutely crush it. The two of them at our millionaire dinner were probably on the award board more than anyone else in that room. So that's why I picked those two that I feel like are in the trenches with their teams still and running and gunning, and they're doing it hardcore. So I want you to hear from somebody else. So I really, really strongly ask that everyone puts those 2 dates on their calendar, 3 dates on their calendar, and is present, and you get all of your teams on those 2 Zooms back to back next Wednesday and the Wednesday after. Because if we are going to have somebody else who makes absolutely no dime off of this team come in and pour into us what they're doing on their teams, I would hope that we have enough respect to make certain we get everyone on this team on those Zooms. I'm super excited. I've never interviewed either one of them. I've broached the subject with them a couple times, and then we just never put it together. And this time I was like, this time we're doing it. So I am super excited to learn from both of them. I hope you guys are too. If you don't know who they are, go follow them on social media. They are absolutely blowing it up with their teams. And they do things a little bit, everybody does things a little bit differently. So I wanted to hear a little bit from that. Mike and I think I started to touch on this and then I got sidetracked. Mike and I had a conversation yesterday about some of the struggles that he's having. And I said, everybody's got to kind of pick their poison in this business. When you look at the teams like Lindsay Coggins is another one I'm going to try to get on. I just didn't get to her yet because I wanted to get these other 2 on the books. When you look at the Lindsay Coggins team and you look at the Courtney Glacier team, and they're really, really using Instagram and blowing up business via Instagram. And this team doesn't necessarily do Instagram as much. Some of you guys do. Some of that comes down to my stubbornness for so long. I will totally take the blame on that one while I drink my water. But when I was talking to Mike yesterday, I said, you almost kind of have to pick. There's this like negative connotation out there about cold messaging as of the last couple of years. There's some trainers that will totally train you on cold messaging. And I think Julie and I had this conversation a while back about that. Cold messaging is the way sales has gone our entire lives. Telemarketing is cold messaging. When you get a sales quota, thank you, Kristen Scott. When you get a sales quota and you got to dial for dollars. That's why it's called dial for dollars. You ain't dialing people that it's cold messaging. So I just don't agree with those people that are like, oh, and you don't have to do any cold messaging. Fine. You might not, if you're doing the things like they're doing on Lindsay Coggins' team and Courtney Glacier's team, which is reel after reel after live after live after reel after IGTV after all of the social media bells and whistles. And they've grown a massive network that all they have to do is post once or twice and they've got a bunch of people that want what they have. So you could do that, or you could do cold messaging, or you can do a mixture of both. That's fine, but you got to pick your poison. You either are watching people, if you're watching people that are absolutely exploding it, but it goes back to the do to get the get. No, if you want what I have, you got to do what I'm doing. You got to do what they're doing. And then there's people like Ray Higdon that teach cold messaging and preach cold messaging. Because why? Because it works. It's worked for hundreds of years. It's worked. I don't know about hundreds, but it's worked. Cold messaging works. Telemarketing works, or it wouldn't be a thing, right? Like if you don't want to do cold messaging because that's super uncomfortable for you and you are really afraid of the person who's going to come back to you and message her and be like, ew, you just did a cold message script on me. Hey girl, so what? Unfriend, bye. Let it roll off your back. Who cares? The next one might be your next 200K that you enroll. So who cares about negative Nancy who didn't like the way you're trying to build your business because her upline told her she doesn't need to and she's still probably sitting at the bottom rank in her company. Like, who cares? We need to get thicker skin and then do the business the way you want to do the business, but you got to pick your poison, and it can be all the way across the board. Just make sure you're doing all of it then. But I just don't want people looking at the people who are just absolutely crushing it and they're doing the reels and the lives and the TikToks and all of that, but you're not doing those. But then you're also not doing the cold messaging because everybody's preaching this. You don't have to do cold messaging things. So you think that it's wrong. It's not wrong. So I had that conversation with Mike and I wanted to share that because I felt like there's this like stuckness that we have. And I think it's because we haven't picked our poison and we're not really sure what to do, because some people say this is wrong, and that all that stuff over there, that seems really scary to go live every day and figure out how to do those reels like they do. Like, I know that seems scary. Then the cold messaging it is. And if you're like, ooh, no, I am not doing cold messaging, that is not how I want to do this business, then I better see your ass on live every day. You got to do it somehow. We got to pick our poison, and we got to do it somehow. Somehow you got to get in front of people. So pick. This is network marketing, network. So your network, but you got to work it. It's network marketing. Okay. So we got to pick which way we're going to do it. Okay. Last but not least, I want to talk about E60. I think we finally kind of came up with who is in our driveway on a Can-Am. That's really weird. Sorry. We live out in the middle of nowhere. So for somebody to drive all the way up our driveway on a Can-Am and stop in the front of my house is really strange. Okay. So E60 challenge. I talked to Carrie Ann today. This is what we kind of are thinking. We're going to run it in our customer page. We don't want anybody to get too overwhelmed with it right now, because there is rank bonuses on the table. It's the only thing you guys should be concentrating on, not the energy drink, not all the new products. Rank bonuses are on the table. They may be gone after 2.5 more weeks. So I would just be concentrating on, how can I bring on new promoters right now and rank up? How can I help my newest promoter rank up and grab them a bonus? Behind the scenes, we are going to be working on the E60 challenge so that it's a little more maybe oomph behind it starting May 1st. We're going to give you guys maybe like 7 or 10 days notice to start getting some people like situated in there. And so we'll roll some more out. But what we talked about was starting May 1st, doing a 60-day challenge. Anybody can enter at any time. Obviously, the people that start May 1st will have a little bit more advantage than the people who might not start till June 1st or in the middle of May, whatever. But we're going to do some sort of smaller cash prizes, and everything's going to be run out of the customer page. We're going to go back to having polls every single day, check-in polls for them to do. Unless somebody is on an auto ship for E60, they can participate in the customer page, but they will not win any of the free samples we're going to give away. You have to be part of the challenge and on an auto ship, and we will check that before we give away stuff. So we're going to make it like the freebie seekers that are out there probably aren't going to like this part in the customer page, because we've sent enough free product out to those people. They need to get on the challenge at this point. So we're going to kind of make it like a summer slim down type E60 challenge. People are going to take before pictures. We're going to put all the before pictures in an album in the customer page. They will have to submit after pictures, just like the Ultimate Thriver Challenge. And at the end of it, everyone in our customer page will get to vote. We'll kind of put together like what we think maybe are the top 10. And then we will post those and let everybody in the customer page vote on the best ones that had the most significant change. And those will be the winners. So we're going to run it a little bit like Ultimate Thriver Challenge, but our own in our customer page. We talked a little bit about, well, gosh, what if somebody wants to do detox first? Great. Get them on an auto ship of the E60. They can start their first 10 days on detox and then go into their 2 months of their Thrive experience. Obviously, the contest will end at the end of June, because it'll be 60 days. They'll still have some of their Thrive left, whatever. But if somebody wanted to start with detox first, they could. We will start getting some of the graphics and stuff changed over in the customer page to reflect this. We're not going to like launch tomorrow, hey, let's get signed up for this. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up so you can start thinking about your marketing plans. Your current customers can absolutely participate in this. Anybody, promoters, no. The promoters are a no. The customers, a yes. They can be a current customer that they stay on their Thrive 3-step E60 auto ship for May and for June. As long as they're on that auto ship, they can participate. And what else? We will start making some graphics that you can use in your stories and a way to market this. And we've talked about having like a measurement sheet possibly that everybody fills out, and like a food tracker, but not sure we're going to go that far. We want to keep this really simple and just about the Thrive experience. And then we'll do some different contests in there, some random stuff. We're actually going to ask your customers to, as part of their check-in on some days, go post, and we might draw one of those winners for some like random prizes. We're going to make it really, really fun, but keep it simple, stupid. We will, one last thing that we will add to this. May will start off with the step challenge again, getting in 10,000 steps. And then we'll add on steps and water challenge for June, just to have some like other things in there that they need to be checking off that they should be doing. In no way, shape, or form are those things going to be like a requirement for them to win in the end. It's going to be about the most, physical changes that we see in somebody. And then again, it'll be everybody in the customer page will get to vote. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do that. We'll figure that out at the end. But then these albums of pictures of befores and afters and all that stuff will always be housed in our customer page. And if this works out really well for, the May and June, maybe we'll start another one July and August, or maybe we'll pause for a couple months and start another one like this in September and do September and October. So that's kind of the overall plan. More details to come because it is only the 13th of the month. I think we'll maybe start rolling this out more like the 20th. So if you want to start talking to some of your customers that are pretty loyal on their Thrive experience and tell them there's going to be a challenge, and if they want to grab a couple of friends to do the challenge with them, you have more details coming. There will be, giveaways and fun stuff. It's a way to help your customers thrive for free if they get two people, to challenge with them. So more details to come, like I said, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up so that you could start having those conversations with your team and having those conversations with your customers. And sorry, Mary, I went 4 minutes over and I said I was going to try to end early, but everybody knows I like to talk and I just can't stop. Come up for air. I did 3 interviews today with people on this team too. So I have no voice left. I have nothing left in here. All right, guys, I hope you guys have a fabulous evening. I have to hop off. So how about everybody exit, and then Mary, everybody will hop back on for book club. I'm going to stop the recording now.